Hello and welcome to the Change Gang podcast with me, your host, Laura Ordile. I'm here to help you hold on to your sanity and your soul as you move through big change. I'm here to guide you from frustration to flow in your life, bridging the practical and the woo, just for you. Let's go. Happy day, Change Gang. Welcome to the week. I think it's hilarious that I did a podcast last week that said, let's talk normal. And it barely got listened to. How funny is that? That cracks me up. You put the word normal in there and forget it. Nobody's interested. I'm kind of not that interested either. But if you listen, it talks about why things are not necessarily normal. But today I wanted to jump in and talk a little bit about how we move through failure. And that some people say there's no such thing as failure, but there is. We do fail sometimes. We do not hit the mark. And that's okay. That's absolutely okay. And that's the point that I want to make. Because I'm in a class, actually, I'm in my mediumship class, and one of the things that he tells us is go in and mess it up. Go in and fail. Go in and don't worry about it. So that when you do go in, even if you did mess up, even if you did fail, you actually did what he said to do. So you succeeded, right? But the point is, it takes the pressure off. It takes the pressure off knowing that you're going in, and even if you mess up, it's okay because you're learning. And you know what? If you're someone who's learning something and doing things, then sometimes things aren't going to work out. Some things aren't going to be exactly the way you want them to. And so what? So freaking what? Unless you keep continuing to go in and fail, if that's the case, then maybe you need to shift your direction. Maybe you need to look in a different direction of what you're doing, or change the energy, or get help, or do something a little bit different. But you are not going to keep failing if you go in and you keep trying. That's honestly the truth. You will get something right along the way. And when you do, it's an amazing feeling. I don't know if you've ever played golf, but I'll tell you what. Golf can be a very frustrating sport to play, just like I think probably any of them, but you can hit the ball wrong so many times when you're playing golf. But when you hit it right, oh my gosh, it feels great. It feels great, and that's what keeps you going in doing that. That's what keeps you playing the game. That's what keeps you going, is that feeling of success, that feeling of hitting the ball and it going in the direction you wanted it to, and it landing in a reasonable spot, and keep going. And that's one of the things with mediumship, is when you get it right, it feels just like that. It feels so good. Anything, intuition, any of the work that I do. I've just been working in doing past life regression sessions. And if you are not familiar with those that I've posted, they're at a very discounted rate for the month of November. And I do that when I start something because it's a trial run to see how you receive it and how I like doing it. So if I've probably practiced a few times already, done some training, done some things, but then I want to see if it's really going to work in the everyday world, because sometimes you can do stuff for yourself, you can do things that you love, but then when you get out in the everyday world, it doesn't quite work out. So I post things at a very discounted rate, but they won't come back at that rate. So know that. It's not like I'm going to do it once a year or every so often. It won't ever be at that rate again. So if you're interested in those, come on into the Change Gang or sign up for my email and you will get the link for that. The Change Gang group is on Facebook, and you'll see the link in there. And if you sign up for the success tips, you'll automatically get put on my email list. Go for that. Anyway, back to failure. Sometimes we get so trapped in the cycle of that, of I can't do it, or I'm not working well enough, or I can't get it, that your mindset just kind of keeps tripping you down and down and down. And that's where sometimes you might need someone to step in and say, hey, I've got you. Let's bring one little tiny thing back up. And there's an emotional scale that a lot of people don't realize. You don't have to be in a place of crazy amazing to be accomplishing stuff. You just have to be at the next step up. So if you're feeling really crappy, you might get to meh, or you might get to not so crappy. And then you might get to better, and then you might get to okay, and then you might get to feeling really good. So there's a scale, and as you bring yourself up on that scale, it's just like a ladder, next rung, next rung, next rung. You're going to get to the place where you can do the things that failure isn't really available. Because when you're in that energy, you're at a different vibration. When you're at that above okay, even at okay, probably you're going to be doing pretty well. Maybe you'll fail a little bit, but you're not going to fail that much. But when you get up and beyond okay, you're going to be in a vibration where failure does not exist. It just doesn't. It might mean tripping up a little bit or not being at the next level that you want to be at, but it's way different than failure. And the thing with that is when you're at that higher vibration and you're in that spot and something does happen, it's more like a stumble and then you go, oh, okay. And you kind of correct yourself really quickly and you move on. It's not the same as the nosedive that you take in quote unquote failure. Something to think about there. It's kind of a shift in your mindset, a shift in how you view things, a shift in the energy that you're in. So when I say that failure doesn't exist, it's because the word and the definition of failure that I think of is that nosedive. It's like, oh my gosh, I just totally blew that one. It didn't work out at all. That would be a bit of failure. And oftentimes it's just because we're nervous. We might be anxious about failing, and so your brain gets in the way, maybe your body gets in the way because you're stumbling and falling, but oftentimes it's just the brain going, eek, I need to keep you safe. We can't do this. You have to back out. You have to do something different. And so you dive into that failure mode. But if you can get your brain to go, okay, we're trying these new things. I'm still okay. I'm still in a good spot. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Then, if you have that little stumble or you have that something, your brain automatically kind of kicks right in and it says, that's okay, just keep going. Just keep going. Instead of that fear reaction of stop. We have to stop. We can't go any further. And then you do the nosedive. So do you see why I say that failure doesn't really exist at that next level? Because it doesn't stop you. Failure can sometimes stop you, but if you move above that and you move into something that I would call stumbling or learning, then that's a spot where your brain can pick up. It can keep you moving in a good direction. It doesn't let you go into those difficult places of depression, anger, frustration, all of those. I love that. I love that it does not let you go into those places and stay there. So even if I did have a session or a reading or something that wasn't a complete success, I know that I am not failing. That situation might have been a stumbling block, might have been a momentary quote unquote failure, but I bounce right back. And I had that happen in the class that I was doing today. I actually stumbled through something, didn't succeed at what I was doing. So you could say, yes, I failed. But I came right back. Came right back from that. And I succeeded in the next part. And so I don't consider that necessarily a failure. It was a little bit of a stumble. It was something that taught me how to do something better. And it did. Because I relaxed much more. I let things flow a lot easier, and I got things done. I succeeded. Yay! It's always awesome, isn't it? But whether my last podcast, the Let's Be Normal, was a failure or a learning experience or whatever it was, it's just a stumble, because here I am back. Here I am back talking to you again, talking about the fun things of success, of mindset, of moving forward, maybe a bit of the woo world with my mediumship and my past life regression and some of those things. And, but I'm still here. I'm still showing up. And I will keep showing up because I love it. I love doing this. And maybe you'll take the time to share it with someone. Go back and have a listen if you haven't listened to some of the other ones. And I'm always open to things that you might want to hear. But don't let something be a failure when it could be a stumble. Get your mind in a place that lets you recover quickly. It's just like the exercise in your body, where when you push your body, it can take a long time to recover until you get it to a point where when you push it, it's a quick recovery, right? Your muscles are going, ooh, that was a bit of a different thing. That was a stretch. It hurt a little bit, but I'm recovering quickly. Your mind can do the same exact thing, even quicker and even better. So if you haven't worked on your mindset, now's the time. Now is the time as we come to the end of our year and we're moving into the next one. We have a couple of months left. Do wonderful things with those couple of months. Don't let anything that hasn't happened stop you. You have not failed if you haven't accomplished everything that you set up to accomplish this year. And you have not failed if you haven't started some of the things that you want to start. You have not. And you still have a lot of time to dip your toe in, to do the things that you want, because sometimes that's all it takes, is just stepping in a little bit. And from there, things will carry on and move in a really good direction. And then you can feel that accomplishment. And if you do stumble, you'll recover a lot quicker. So there you go, guys. I hope that you have a great week. And I think next week I'm going to maybe dive in a little bit more into some woo stuff, maybe a little bit more astrology. I've been on the astrology train a lot in the last few weeks because I've been refreshing and studying and doing some things. So I think I might open that door a little bit wider for you guys. If there's something specific you want to hear about, let me know. You know where to find me. Have a great one. Meet you right here, same time, next week. I hope today's episode was interesting to you in some way and fun. If so, hey, find someone to share it with. Maybe they need to hear it too, or maybe they'll just enjoy it. If you'd like, go ahead and grab my tips on supercharging your success. It includes a free short meditation to do just that. You can find that at bit.ly/supercharge your success. Until next time, happy day.